Yes, that's right. It is Glix here to talk to you about the Federal Reserve System. Let's sing about it. Had to do it. I just had to do it since Mike Pence came out and said we are absolutely putting $8 billion into the new space program. Yes, this is Glix Weir from planet, I forgot the name. Lalo, was that it? Yes, very exciting times at the progression of our monetary system, the progression of our adventure into space. Absolutely. So, yes, this is the character that the Federal Reserve created in their latest comic book named Glix, who sings about the Federal Reserve System. Now, who could possibly be doing that? Yes, that was me. Federal Reserve absolutely made a comic book based on one of the characters is based on Bix Weir in the Road to Ruta. I know it sounds insane, absolutely, but read these comic books and you'll say, "Oh my God, it is true." You can find these comic books here. The federal. This is the Fed New York. So look here, Fed New York, right there. See it? All right, you see it. Everything is legit. I'm not making this crap up. New York Fed. They're the Road to Ruta comics came from the Boston Fed. That talks about destroying the old system, implementing a gold standard, and moving forward. This latest set of comics is all about moving into a space age world where metals are not good in space. Obviously, they're too heavy to use as money in space, and that's where we're going. We're going into space. Read Once Upon a Dime, and you'll see. I mean, it's all about going into space and using money. Now, it's very pro-Fed. I'm not against necessarily a sovereign bank issuing currency for their people. If it's sound, if it's secure, that's what countries should do. They shouldn't restrict other currencies at all. And I don't think the U.S. will allow that when the old system breaks apart. The problem is the control was everything was controlled by these central banking criminals. But absolutely, a country should be able to control its own currency, but you should also be able to have freedom of choice. You could use a different currency. So if your country abuses that currency to some extent, which obviously we printed way too much money, then they have other options. And that's the key to central banking, and central banks for the last 110 years have wanted to lock everything in to their system only. But I think that is changing, and the people who are the bad guys in charge of the central banks have gone or will be gone, like Stanley Fischer of the Fed and people like that, the criminals. So we will see. We will see what happens. But in the meantime, read these comics, and you can understand just who Glix is. Glix. Sings about the Federal Reserve. All he does is research into the Federal Reserve and sing songs about the Federal Reserve. It's really hysterical. And those of you who followed the Road to Ruta will know what I'm talking about. Those of you who have not probably think I'm completely crazy, and there is no relation to this guy Glix, Glix, and Bix, Bix. Very interesting, my friends. His real name's Brad, which is kind of right in line with my given name. So, yes, this creature from the Federal Reserve is Bix Weir. Really cool. Anyway, since we're in space, let's talk about space. Vice President Pence unveils Trump's Space Force will cost $8 billion over 5 years. Is it important? Absolutely, it's important. Back in March, President Trump first introduced the idea of a U.S. Space Force, renewing a long-running debate that began about 20 years ago whether the Pentagon space activities should be moved to a new command. Then in June, Trump explicitly called for a new branch to be created, despite resistance from the Air Force, which oversees military space programs. Now, first of all, we've had a space program within a secret space program for decades upon decades. So, I mean, this is just bringing it out into the open, which is a really big step for humanity to talk about things that those in the woo-woo world have known all along. I have a set of night vision goggles. I see things flying around in space all the time. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at one I filmed. It wasn't real exciting. This was back in March 2017. But check out, this isn't proof of anything other than these goggles are so cool. And I did this myself. And I've seen a lot of real cool looking craft. This was just a moving dot, basically. And there it is. Moving along. People are saying, well, it could be a satellite. It could be a lot of things. I go, absolutely. Absolutely, it could be a lot of things. But I've seen squadrons. I've seen them take off like this. I've seen the triangle craft. I've seen the cigar-shaped craft. And it's all with the night vision goggles. And, yeah, they're expensive, absolutely. Probably because they don't want you to look up in the sky and see what's going on every night.
Cool, slow and steady.
So that was one I just posted for fun. The sad thing is my night vision goggles have broken. Never leave batteries in your night vision goggles. I went to get them fixed. They're like, sorry, you can't fix them. So if anybody knows where I can get these night vision goggles fixed, give me a call. But here's the kind of thing that I've seen many times. This is a better...
or may not have heard.
This is a better one.
ETF, the SIBO one.
I got JSnip4 playing during my videos. Keep it down, Snippy. So here's a really cool one. And you can see this. Check it out. See that craft right there? That's the kind of thing I see with my goggles. You're like, what in the world is that? No, it's CGI. It's not CGI. Unless it's a CGI sky, because I've seen that with my goggles. And I've seen squadrons. I've seen the cigar-shaped craft. You can't explain that. No, that's not an airplane. And you don't see it every night, but a lot of nights you'll see a lot of things. And the real active nights at the right time with the right angle, it's insane what you can see. So, absolutely we are moving into a world that is completely different. A world that will need cryptocurrencies to transact business in other places, shall we say. The gold and silver hard cores will say, well, we can use cryptocurrencies linked to gold and silver. Absolutely. Why not? But at the end of the day, it's more about scarcity than it is about the linking of gold and silver, as we all know, as we've all learned since the invention of Bitcoin. So back to the new space world. Cliff High's data absolutely has space coming in big time after this year, 2019, 2020. We're going to talk about flying cars. We're going to be talking about all this stuff. So the fact that Trump is unveiling this gigantic program to create a space force, which we already have, it's just bringing it out into the open, is really interesting. And if you guys haven't read Cliff's latest, Jump Out, check it out. Check it out. The crypto stuff is spot on. There's massive manipulation going on. Whether it's by the good guys or the bad guys, clearly Brock One and friends and Tether was the manipulation upwards from 4,000 to 20,000. That's the worst thing that could have happened to the cryptos, and we can blame them for that. It's been proven. Hopefully they'll be arrested for it. The takedown is probably the good guys saying, we got to take Brock and friends out. Let's get them to put all their cash into the Tether bank account, and then we can confiscate the bank account. Right now, it's supposed to have $2.4 billion in it. That's a nice start to get these guys out of the game. We'll see what happens, but exciting things for cryptos going forward, and exciting things for space. And yes, Glix will be performing on September 13th at the pre-party Litecoin show. I will not be wearing these because you can't see out of them. These are really cool, actually. They're DJI goggles for my drone. I haven't used them yet. I can't figure out how to get it going. But when I do, that means you can, you're in the drone. I'll probably get seasick or motion sickness in my drone. But yes, I will be playing at the pre-Litecoin conference. Those of you who have signed up, you should have paid by now. So if you should have got your private key Litecoin address to pay your one Litecoin for the event. And if you have not paid by now, we are opening up the event to a waiting list, and when we do that, it'll be first come, first served. So if you pay your Litecoin, you're in. If you don't, you might be out. So pay your one Litecoin if you have signed up. If you want to get on the waiting list, send an email to bix@road2ruta. And when the waiting list opens up, it'll be first in, gets the last remaining seats that the other people didn't pay for. Because we're very limited in the amount. There's only going to be about 100 people there. And we have a couple new entrants, which are awesome. Snippy is going to come. Jason F4 is just going to come out. And he had to rearrange his plans. So he'll be there along with Bitcoin Ben, Dick Allgaier, Will Lair, and whoever else might show. Everybody's like, "Was Charlie gonna be there?" I don't know. The open invitation for that boy. Yeah, Charlie. Yeah, come to the pre-conference party. I know you got a lot to do. I think he's gonna be in Europe like the day before, so probably not gonna happen. But you never know. Open invitation for Charlie Lee to come to that party. Anyway, this is Big Weir. Real excited about the new Space Force that's going to be released. And for all you UFO lovers, disclosure is close. This is part of disclosure, I would say. I would say disclosure's already happened. Those of you who want to do any research into what has been hidden from us, the first thing you'll come up against is the reality of UFOs, unidentified flying objects. Could they be us up there that I'm seeing? Yeah, sure. But that pretends to, okay, why are we sending up space shuttles when we got these craft that go 1,000 times faster and turn on a dime and things like that? Lots of questions and answers are going to be revealed while the deep state and the bad guys are being taken down. It's all a process, my friends, so hang in there. Hang in there, we're doing well, and this is a great sign that the Space Force is coming, and that means a lot of the truthfulness and honesty that's been hidden all these years will come out into the open. And we'll find out we're not the only people in this grand universe. Anyway, this is Glix Weir from the headquarters, signing off. I'll talk to you later. Except I can't see how to turn this off unless I have this up. Later.